Army reservist, killed a bunch of people, and curiously, still at large. You know, normally they shoot themselves or get killed in a standoff, but he's actually still at large. 18 people dead, you know? Very rare that we get these mass shootings where they still, running around out there. Now, I know you guys are wondering, what's this guy's ideology? You know, what ideological disposition would lead someone to, he's a conservative, obviously. He's a conservative. Just flat out, just conservative. Every conservative account. Before the info got scrubbed, there was a big, it got taken down. Did Elon just flat out take down his Twitter to try to cover up for conservatives? Why would his Twitter get taken down? Like, he's on the run. Like, why? He was an Elon fan as well. I'm almost certain the only reason his account would get taken down is because it implicates conservatives and Elon, because he's a fan of Elon. I don't know. Like, there's Cat Turd, classic. There's Elon Musk, Tesla owner, Silicon Valley, of course. He's just a conservative. He's just like a median conservative. No, Twitter has taken down the accounts of shooters since way before Elon days. Is that true? I don't remember that happening before, at least not under this. Like, you're kind of deleting evidence, right? Like, wouldn't that information be? It is true. Okay, then I don't recall that, but it doesn't change the fact that before it got taken down, he conservative, just all conservative, you know, median conservative too. I don't even think he was a Nazi or whatever. I think he's just like, this is just what conservatives are like, you know. They just kill lots of people. They love doing that shit. Breaking: World Athletics bans trans biological male athletes from women's sports. There's Wall Street Silver, Jim Jordan, Jordan B. Peterson. Classic stuff. I think there's a sort of pointed honesty to this as well, because normally mass shooters leave manifestos, but I think at this point, just being a conservative is a manifesto. Like, because normally you think like, well, why'd he do this? And I think that if you earnestly believe all the shit conservatives say, that is a manifesto. Like, just being a mainstream median conservative involves believing in so many conspiracies that if you just wrote them all down plainly, literally just watched a week or so of conservative media, wrote down what you got from that, that would just be a normal ass manifesto. You know, you don't have to be exceptional to be a conservative and a mass shooter. Of course, because we don't have a manifesto, to my knowledge, I haven't seen one, that also means we don't have a motive. I don't know whether or not there is any specific political motive. This person had mental health issues, pretty significant ones. The only point I think that is worth proving here is that conservatives are mentally ill and unstable, something that I genuinely, truly do believe. They are a threat to society, and it is morally imperative that conservatism as a concept, certainly in its current form, be eradicated from civil discourse, because it makes monsters of men. It's monstrous. You know, I don't know. Who knows what the actual inciting incident could have been? Maybe he, I don't know, he jerked off to some and then he saw the title of the video and it was like a trans woman or something. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I think that it's probably safe to treat all conservatives, especially people who are really into it, as just kind of mass shooters to be. At the very least, they are, you know, it's like a warning sign that they're showing you. They're alerting you beforehand. People like give you shit for assuming, but if there's a mass shooting and you assume it's a conservative, that is a statistically defensible assumption to make. You know, obviously that doesn't mean it's the case for sure. I'm just saying, man, they sure are overrepresented, you know? There sure are a lot of them. I wonder why that is. Next mass shooting, just refer to the shooter as an average conservative. But he is! Literally! That's true, though! That's not even a joke! It literally, from his Twitter feed, he was just like a normal conservative. There was nothing exceptional about it. What to know about him? Here, who is the suspect? 40-year-old Robert Card of Bowdoin, Maine. Bowdoin or Bowdoin? Probably Bowdoin. In the attack at Lewiston that left 18 people dead and 13 people injured. Maine State Police say Card is wanted on 8 counts of murder. 10 victims remain unidentified. Okay, well, you know. Still at large, armed and dangerous. Nearly 2 days after the shooting, police have given no indication they have any leads into Card's whereabouts. Phenomenal police detective work here. Incredible stuff. Having a person mass murder 18 people and then get away with no leads is pretty crazy. It's possible, but still pretty crazy. 2 law enforcement officials told the AP that investigators found a note at a home associated with Card on Thursday that was addressed to his son. The officials described it as a suicide note, but said it didn't provide any specific motive for the shooting. Card's cell phone was also found in the home, and a gun was found in the white Subaru Card abandoned, the officials said. Federal agents were testing the gun to determine if it was used in the shooting and conducting a trace to determine when and where the gun was obtained. They were not authorized to publicly discuss details of the investigation, spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity. Okay. Card's relatives told federal investigators that he recently discussed hearing voices and became more focused on the bowling alley and bar, officials said. Interesting guy. Lewiston is the second largest city in Maine with a population of 37,000. What? Maine's second largest city has only 37,000 people in it. Are you kidding me? That was my tiny college town. It's not even a real state. President Biden has ordered all U.S. flags be flown at half-mast till sunset Monday. Okay. Well. Family of Maine shooting said his mental health had deteriorated rapidly. Many such cases. Oh, give me a video about it, sure.
Is in the suspect's hometown. Sam, what have you learned today? Suspect's background with guns and about potential warning signs before last night's shooting. Sam Brock is in the suspect's hometown. Sam, what have you learned today?
Lester, law enforcement says a gun was found in that white Subaru. They are
shocking.
Looking right now to see if it's the same weapon that was used in the mass shooting, as we are hearing from the Card family, who says that they alerted authorities that this is someone who needed help.
In Robert Card's hometown of Bowdoin, Maine, area-wide shock.
It's mind-blowing. Everything about it it's unbelievable. I mean, why this is going on and why this happened.
Even as the suspect's own family reveals chilling details about the decades-long Army reservist. His sister-in-law telling NBC News they alerted police and military officials that Card was experiencing an acute mental health episode.
You always get these after mass shootings where like, again, I keep saying there's this mythology of like the mass shooter being this like deceptive, intelligent agent of chaos who emerges from nothing. When in reality, every time this happens, the media does their circuit and everyone who knew the guy is like, yeah, we like actually put in like 50 police reports and everyone knew he was like losing his shit and like everyone was warning, but like we couldn't do anything because the hospital wouldn't keep him and like nobody took it seriously. Like every time, dude. Yeah, this is why red flag laws are probably a good idea if implemented well. Because if somebody's acting that cuckoo, you know, I think it's probably okay their guns get taken away. There's risk for abuse, I guess, with like police targeting civil rights protesters or whatever, but I think like I don't think that's like a realistic balance of probabilities, right? You know, I think the net good probably overwhelms the net negative there. Here's a CNN breakdown of him. He threatened to shoot up a National Guard base. You know, I pardon my naivete, I feel like if you threaten to shoot up a National Guard base while being an Army reservist, you should probably be arrested. Like that's something the cops can do something about, I'm pretty sure. Army Reserve officials reported Card for behaving erratically, and he was transported to the nearby Keller Army Community Hospital at the U.S. Military Academy for medical evaluation. Out of concern for his safety, the unit requested law enforcement be contacted. He then spent a few weeks under evaluation at the hospital, the law enforcement officials said. He'd also threatened to shoot up a National Guard base in Maine. An account on the social media platform Twitter, with Card's name and a photo that appears to be him, which has been taken offline, had a history of liking right-wing and Republican political content. Who could have guessed that a gun nut who lived on a farm and was a Army reservist
in the months before Wednesday's massacre, saying he'd been fitted for high-powered hearing aids a couple of months.
I think we should make insane asylums again. I kind of unironically agree. Like, obviously insane asylums in their historical context were really bad, but we do need like mental health facilities where you can be interred for a while and have some, basically like a care home, except you get thrown in there. Again, like growing up in California, dude, Reagan closing the mental health facilities in the state did so much to exacerbate the homeless person problem. It like so much so, you know. Sometimes there's just not very much else that you can do, you know. Yeah, we used to have psych wards. Now we just have downtown city streets. This guy screams MK Ultra. Oh yeah. Do you think like the feds like hacked his smart fridge to whisper like insane right-wing schizo shit in his ears? We still have psych wards, lol. You mean in California? We have far fewer than we need in ERs. No, I mean like actual mental hospitals. And psych wards are terrible.
Ago and was picking up voices that he had never heard. His mind was twisting them around. The family concerned about the mental state of someone who performs gun training.
And with what we did, meeting him and the way that he showed us how to use a weapon, and then smart.
Holy shit, this guy is a guy. The net baseball cap with the shades and all these patches. Demon dog. I love my crazy wife. I like that. That's cute.
He's really smart, and he's tactical.
Former Army reservist Phil Gregory says he learned how to use an M16 rifle from Card. They weren't in the same unit, but the 40-year-old left an impression on Gregory.
He knows warfare. He understands it. He may not have ever been deployed, but he's smart.
Is that... I know I'm only getting an out-of-context clip here, but I feel like that's a wildly inappropriate thing to say after he's murdered 18 people. You know? You sound like you're hyping up a villain in, like, a Jason Bourne movie. Like, they do a big shooting, and the guy's at the camera, and he's like, this guy, he's not like the other guys you've faced. He's smart. He knows how to hide. He knows how to go to... Yeah, he's like the hype man, you know? Was the guy told a shooting occurred? Why else would they be talking to him? Like, nothing happened, and then this guy, like, a news crew comes up to this guy, and they're like, hey, this guy, nothing happened, by the way, but this guy, you know? He's saying it to exacerbate the level of danger he poses, I think. Yeah, I know. It's just in the context in which it's clipped here, he just seems like he's hyping him up and not like, oh, man, he's like a real threat to people, you know? But it's... I'm not blaming this guy. It's just kind of funny.
He knows what to do. I think they need to soldier.
He knows what to do. Again, with no other context. It's literally, it's like hype guy shit. It's like, he's here gassing his former Army reservist buddy up.
Soldiers, to be honest with you, to be here. I really do.
The assault rifle, believed to be the one used to massacre and maim at least 30 people, was purchased legally in 2023, according to 2 senior law enforcement officials.
Man, god damn it. This is so clearly not a gun issue. This is a mental health issue. Come on. Again, I understand and even support some levels of... Looks like Destiny? Shit, you're right. Some levels of gun control and, like, red flag laws and stuff, but, like, man, I feel like people only bring up the mental health angle when they shouldn't be, and they never do when they should be, you know? Like, do we not understand? This guy was literally, like, going crazy, like, hearing voices, saying he was going to shoot up a National Guard base. You can restrict gun laws as much as you want, dog. That motherfucker is a danger to himself and others, no matter what. Like, when are we going to make the smart move and just introduce lithium into the water supply, okay? Enough is enough, all right? We need the government to just crack open a gigantic cement mixer of lithium and just dump that shit right into the water supply, okay? Make everyone nice and calm. Make everyone chill out a little bit, all right?
Briefed on the matter. And officials tell NBC News Card threatened a military base and was sent by his own commanders to a mental health care facility for 2 weeks of psychiatric treatment in July.
How could someone that fits
Does
that
lithium
profile
mess with your libido? No, you're thinking of SSRIs.
still be in possession of semi-automatic weapons?
Well, I do think that the statutes around firearms and the possession of those are pretty complex. I know there will be
it's maddening. The gun issue here is complicated and worthy of discussion, but are we really going to overlook the mental health thing? Like this guy threatened to shoot up a National Reserve base and then he just got away with it. He just got to be a free citizen after an army reservist threatened to shoot up a National Guard base, and he just clearly mental health, please. Like, even with red flag laws, you can do both of it. You can be like, it's a mental health issue, and I don't think people with those kind of issues should have guns. Sure, red flag his ass, have the cops show up and get shot through the window as they see him, as he sees them approach, you know? But like, man, liberals lose out on so much cultural capital by turning this into a big boogeyman so that every would-be undecided voter who lives in the sticks thinks that Democrats are going to take their hunting rifle and shotgun away and they're going to be eaten by coyotes. Like, you could get so much more mileage out of treating this like a mental health issue and being like, you know, I think that the Second Amendment right is good and all, but if you threaten to shoot up a base of National Guardsmen, maybe you shouldn't have 15 rifles. Like, I don't know, Vosh. I don't think people should. Sheckley, man, I'm not even going to read your full thing out loud. Just don't talk about guns if you don't understand guns, okay? I'm sorry. I own too many guns at this point. Just don't. Just don't.
Reviewing that information as we move forward.
Back in Bowdoin, where Cart's family has owned land for generations, childhood neighbor Richard Goddard is blindsided.
No one would have seen this coming.
Never.
Is this guy's last name seriously Gunt? I would eat nothing. If my last name was Gunt, I would eat nothing but spinach and water with 1 drop of lime juice in it for my entire life just to beat the allegations. But people would be like, oh, is that Ian Gunt? Can't wait to see him. And I turn around shirtless, veins rippling up my entire abdomen. I'm not giving him shit. I'm sorry. I respect this guy.
Never expected anything like this to happen here.
Sam Brock, NBC News, Bowdoin, Maine.
I feel like there's a decent chance the guy killed himself and he's like polluting some little estuary, just floating down it right now. But who knows? Whatever. Maine is like 90% woods. Yeah, imagine doing a manhunt in Maine. Jesus Christ. Why would you shoot up a bowling alley? What'd the bowling alley ever do? In all likelihood, this was just like a mental health shooting. The fact that the guy is a conservative is relevant to me only insofar as I can point out that conservatives are mentally ill and mentally ill people are not the second one, really. I think being a conservative entails some degree of sort of calculated irrationality, because you cannot be rational and be a conservative. It's not possible. This isn't like an opinion matter. You have to not believe in facts in order to believe things that conservatives say. So, you know, I think there's probably a decent chance that this guy used to be mentally stable and he got sort of trapped in the right-wing pipeline where he consumed more and more insane bullshit and it made him crazier. And then in his crazy state, he just flipped out and like killed a bunch of innocent people. It's possible that the conservatism wasn't even like the inspiration for the shooting. And it's impossible to know to an extent as well. I'm so ready for the Rambo comparisons because Rambo in the first movie was like hiding from police. This guy was an army reservist for 20 years. Right now, this is out there in the woods, like using mud to paint his face, and he's like using like cord to booby trap between the trees or whatever. Nah, he's probably killed himself. Hype Manning him some more. Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. So depressing.